That was nice. I feel like I'm gonna have to give that to my PR agency so they can use it. So, hey, welcome you guys. Are you guys excited to be here at Pitt Meadows? No, seriously, like, I just want to let you know I've been flying literally all around the world for the last month. So I've been in Japan last week. I was in New Zealand before that. I was in Arizona at one of the biggest prefab shows before that. So I'm in British Columbia today, and I am super excited. Are you guys excited to be here today? Awesome. Well, I'm going to hope that our tech works. I'm going to start my presentation. I think we're going to do well today. If not, I make excellent hand puppets, I like to say. So, fantastic. By the way, I think it's great that I do talk about my career so that everybody can understand that you can have any career that you want in this space. So, and it's very interactive. If you have any questions, you just raise your hand and we have a mic. Somebody can ask away. Feel free. I'm very approachable. I always show this just so you know. Our own safe harbor statement about products at Autodesk, but a little bit about me. I actually have a new title. I have a brand new title. So I'm actually now the VP of Enterprise Transformation Practice because we're moving so far forward in the space, talking about platform solutions and about sustainability and also industrialized construction. By the way, don't let that Harvard Business School thing fool you. I actually had worked in the industry and then owned several companies because I worked in the industry. And while I was pregnant, my bonus one year paid for me to go to Harvard Business School while I was pregnant. So I just want you to know that. It doesn't start that way for me. I grew into that role, and so can all of you. So don't let that like fancy name of that university fool you, because in reality, I sat there in a lot of classes feeling a little bit nauseous, just so we're clear. All right. So, but why is this so important right now? Look what's going on around us. The world's population is going to hit 10 billion people by 2050. And the built environment, all these buildings, we really need to catch up. We need more housing, more hospitals, more data centers. How many of you like watching TikTok on your phone or Instagram? You can't do that without more data centers, right? You need more cars, we need more efficient cars, and we need to do that quickly, and that takes people, right? We are talking at a growth rate. We basically need to construct a New York City every month for the next 40 years if we want to keep up with that population growth. Does that shock you? That's how much we need. How many of you have been to New York City? Anybody? Exactly. So like you need one of those a month for the next 40 years to catch up right now. That blows my mind. So let's talk about some other things that are happening and why that is. There's this term called convergence, and all it means is like melting together, right? So if you think about convergence as several things combining into one. And so what does that mean? It means products and services. And when things actually start melding together and the lines start blurring, people's businesses change. And I think you saw that from Pitt Meadows. They've evolved over time because of convergence, because technology is changing, the environment is changing. They need bigger, more complex buildings. And so business models change because I always think, how many of you have an iPhone out there? I'm like, I see half kids and half parents. This wasn't what it was. I'm 51. I have a 14-year-old. This is not what it was like before. This is not just a phone. This is like your entertainment. It could be your babysitter if you're one of the parents. It could be your dating app. It could be your map. It could be a million things. So we're seeing technology converge with our lives in ways we never thought even possible. So you're seeing process change. So again, when we first had our iPhones, I used to write down the phone number from the website, and then I would call it and write it down. Now, if you go to a website and you push the phone number, how many of you think the website is broken? Like I go, wait, who built this? This website is broken now. Like it's not working. So we're seeing even processes change. And that's why we're seeing manufacturing and construction processes and design processes combine into one. Some of the things you guys are making over there at Viega, you're watching design and fabrication converge into one thing, right? So we're also seeing industries totally converge. And so I go into factories like this all over the world where they used to be mechanical contractors, and then now they tell me they're manufacturers, or they're a technology company, or they're, a bunch of different kinds of things. So I will say, if you want to get into the trades these days at a company like Pitt, Meadows Plumbing, you might not even be anything close to a plumber. Right? And I see a lot of people in Pitt Meadows shaking their heads saying, I'm not a plumber at all anymore, right? Even people that work with pipe here might say they're not plumbers, right? So, and then you're seeing business models change. How many of you want to own a business one day for yourself? Anybody? 1, 2, think bigger. You can make a lot of money owning your own business. Just look around. But business models are changing, and maybe you don't know. You look around and say, how could I ever own a business as big as this? Maybe it doesn't have to be this. There are many businesses that are looking at how convergence is happening, how humans and machines are working together. How many of you love sci-fi movies? Robots, AI? Okay, all my boys and girls, and let me see, raise your hands. All right, well, my daughter loves sci-fi. Half the time I don't know what she's talking about, but I can tell you that humans and machines are definitely converging, right? How many of you know what ChatGPT is? Everyone raised their hand. I love that. We just did a partnership with one of our software called Inventor and ChatGPT. Everything is converging. And hopefully, because we want a more sustainable industry, a more sustainable workspace, a more sustainable planet, so that all of you have a place to live and you can enjoy the life you have right now. So think about that. We have to do more with less. Because here's the scary part of what I just told you, that we need all these buildings, we have all these things going on, we need more of everything, which is about an ecosystem worth about $14 trillion. 14 trillion with a T, right? And that's US dollars, by the way. I think it's 1 for 1. But some things have happened over COVID where processes actually, I know, people shake your head, but kind of close. Let's squint our eyes for now. Sometimes, more than others. But that remote work has actually changed the way that we do business, but not everybody's actually caught up to new things, especially in our space of design and construction. But listen to this. How many of you would like a job? How many of you would like a promotion at your job? Okay, that's everybody. By Steve, did you look around? Just make sure. The people in the blue sweatshirts, some of them raise their hand. Remote work is really changing the way we do business, but we have a lot of people that are retiring. So look at those numbers. By 2030, which is not that far away, if you're a kid, it seems like a really long time. If you're an adult, I'm like, blink my eye, it's 2030 already. We're going to have 200 million construction jobs worldwide, and 41% of our industry is actually going to retire by 2031. Think about that. How many of you are over 50 in the back of this room? It's scary. If you didn't turn around and you want a job right now, go talk to one of those people. Raise your hand again, and how many of you are going to retire by that time? Keep your hand up. If you're thinking about getting a job, turn around and look at one of these people and ask them what they do for a living, okay? Because then you have to ask yourself, okay, all these people are retiring. Why do we want young people? Why do we need young people? Why would I come on a Saturday after flying from around the world to come here to Pitt Meadows to be like, we need young people? And mostly because Sarah Searle said, Amy, it's super important. And I was like, how do you say no to Sarah Searle? She's like, can you come for the kids? And I was like, of course I can. And you can't say no. So, but then you have to think, why do we really want young people? And I'm going to tell you a story about how I order pizza at home, right? How many of you like pizza? This is an interactive thing if you haven't figured that out, okay? You got to raise your hand. And by the way, there's plenty of seats for those of you who want to come sit up front. I'm just saying. I pick on those in the front seat. If you love pizza these days, you could use your iWatch, and you could actually order a pizza from your Apple Watch and customize it and pay for it on some Cash App. Make sure you know when it was going in the oven. You would see it getting where the travel distance is, where they're going to deliver it, at least where I live. You might actually get, it got a 5-star check for the driver, and he's had a background check, or she has. And you could check on your Ring doorbell if you had that, or some sort of home camera system, to know if they were going to show up, so you could do a touchless delivery if you wanted, or any of those things, right? That's kind of normal. I love when my friend in the pink hair is like, yeah, totally normal, right? That is, and by the way, pink, I love the pink, just so we're clear. That's how you order pizza, right? You're like, yeah, totally normal. Let me tell you how most construction sites work, not necessarily Pitt Meadows. Some guy or woman calls somebody to call somebody else to then call someone else to maybe leave a voicemail, call another person when they're waiting on a $400,000 piece of equipment. True or not true? Raise your hand in the back, my older people. We have to change our expected experience in this ecosystem. You would never call somebody, what's your name? Maya? You would never call somebody, Maya, to call somebody else to see if your pizza was going to come on time or even show up, right? Your expected experience is like, no, I'm just going to order it off my watch or my laptop or wherever, and it's going to come when I want it to come, and it's already paid for. You don't even know what cash change is anymore, right? We are older, and our expected experience is we think we have to call somebody else, and we hope the guys we're paying a lot of money aren't wasting their time that day to go and install that. So we need Maya to come and get a job here at Pitt Meadows Plumbing and say, like, why do you do it like that? You know, when I order pizza, when I go online to buy anything, this is what I do. My friends and I, if I want to know about something, here's how we talk to people. Here's how I would buy something. Here's how I would go get something, right? Like, you need to give us your expected experience and let it soak into us, because our expected experience is more like call somebody to call somebody, right? Super important. So now, of course, you can't be something if you can't see something. I like to do the blondes. I've had pink in the past. I like to do my nails like I want to, and I like to wear whatever I want to wear wherever I go. I love the way that I present. It's the way that I want to present. You should present any way that you want to, and women in this space have just, at least in the US, hit over 10% for the first time in history in our construction sector. So, like, I believe change starts with unhappiness. So, like, as much as I'm like, yeah, I'm like, we don't have people, and only 10% of the people that work for us are women. 10%. By the way, in construction, actually the parity of salaries is much better than in the rest of the world. So we make 95.9% of what men make in construction. And if you're in the regular world, they only make anywhere between 75 and 82% of what a man makes for every dollar in the rest of the world. So, like, you're gonna get paid better as a woman in construction. There are gonna be more opportunities for you as a woman in construction. If you have any kind of diverse background, there are more opportunities for you. And not just because they're looking to create jobs and make more diversity. Let me just tell you, I worked on a semiconductor chip factory once, right? Big, for every one of your chips is from that company just about in your iPhone. And I walked into the job site, and one of my guys said, you realize, besides the assistant, the receptionist, there's 80 people on this job and you're the only woman. I will not forget your name is Maya with the pink hair, right? It won't leave me. They all knew that I was Amy on the very first day for the rest of that job. They knew my name, they knew what I did, they know everything about me. If you look different, they will know who you are. So embrace the difference, because Queen of Prefab was not a self-given name. I actually used to get, before I went to Autodesk, I would go around the world to different companies, and they didn't know me as well. And a guy in Asia said, I'm so glad we brought your company over to come and speak. Where's your boss? And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, where's the CEO? A. Marks, because I signed my name A. Marks back then. And he said, the man who we paid to come and do this show today. And I said, I'm actually the man that you paid to come and do the show today. And he was like, what? And I said, yes, I'm the CEO, Amy Marks. And he said, oh. And then he had to walk out on stage and introduce me. And he said, and she's the Queen of Prefab. And I kind of laughed. And honestly, I like pink, so I was like, I wish Prefab Barbie was what he had said, but he didn't. So I was like, all right, well, I'll go with Queen for now, because I'm a fan of Queen Latifah, so I was like, let's go with it. So literally, we hashtagged it as a joke, and then everybody started calling me Queen of Prefab. And 9 million views later on YouTube, it's kind of a good nickname, and I thank that guy every day for saying that horrible thing, even though he was embarrassed. So, but companies are recruiting all kinds of talent. But now it's like, look, at the end of the day, if you have to ask yourself a question in business ever, like, why did they do this, or why did they do that process, or why does that happen? Let me teach you, if you're under 25 something right now, the answer is always money. If you want to know, the answer is always money. Losing money, making more money, losing less money. Like, that is always the answer, money. So let me talk to you about this money. Project managers in Vancouver make about $140,000 a year on average. Moms and dads, are you surprised? You don't need to go to college to be a project manager. I'm just letting you know I have plenty of friends that went right into the trades and then became project managers. The average salary for a construction worker is about $75,000 a year. You also don't need to go to college for that. I don't mean to be Gary Vee. Most of your parents don't know who that is, but right? He's saying you might not need to go to college. You might not. And depends on what you like to do, you can make a lot of money. But almost 1 in 4 construction workers are self-employed. So if you want to own your own business, it's a great way to learn. And my moms and dads, construction sites don't necessarily look like this. In fact, many don't look like this anymore ever. They look more like this, like industrialized construction, where we're really thinking about a scalable approach to the way we do business and thinking about cloud-enabled technology and machine tooling and automation and robotics for a more sustainable, more scalable, because we need all these buildings, way of working. So think about that. Don't think you're putting your daughter or your son out on a dirty construction site that's unsafe anymore, because they are rapidly changing to look more like this, or like this, or like this, which is in the center of New York City, or like that building on the right, which has systems in it all throughout in London, and is one of the most iconic buildings in the world. So it looks very different these days, because what we're talking about is informing design with the things we make in these fab shops, designing with them to customize them, make things in these factories and assemble them on site, and understanding how we operate them, and thinking about how things like sensors, everybody knows where you're at all the time, and how sensors and IoT data actually tells me how these buildings are performing. We're doing a headquarters for a job right now. You know who this company is, and they're in the top 10 companies. And when we're designing for this building, they want to know when Amy Marks walks in that the temperature in her office changes based on her heart rate that day and how she's feeling, and it turns the music on, and she likes the lights a little bit dimmer when she's walking to her office a little bit faster. And she can push a button and say, like, I'm hungry, and the lunch she has is waiting for her. That's the kind of work you can get in construction these days, is to understand how that technology is going to integrate with the building that we're designing. And so you can do things like manufacturing-informed design that you see here at Pitt Meadows and understand how to start taking what we make here and thinking about it in terms of technology so that it can actually be captured and buildings can be assembled in design and assembled in construction, because we don't have time to cut and weld and hammer anymore on site, and we don't have enough people to do that. So you can work in very unique ways if you join in this industry right now. And by the way, you don't have to be a construction worker to work in construction. Let me say that again. You can be in HR, you can be in marketing. You could do what I do. You could be an international influencer if you want to be in construction. By the way, there was no job when I was Maya's age saying, like, I really want to be the Queen of Prefab. I can tell you right now, there are jobs out there that are coming the next 5 years. 5 years ago when I said, how many people of you have the title industrialized construction in your title, or the terms that we know in our space? And like 3 people might have raised their hand out of 1,000. Now like 500 people raise their hand out of 1,000 with that title. And so I think there are titles that haven't even been made up yet. So if you're interested in coming up with your own phrase, feel free. And so what do those skills look like that people are looking for right now? Do you like drones? How many said sci-fi? Does any of you own drones? We're looking for drone operators. We're looking for people that want to understand AI and design automation. We want people that can actually understand modeling and coding and computer science, right? That's very different when you think about AI is already here, machine learning is already here. If you like those things, you don't need to go to MIT. You can come into this space and learn from some of the people that are doing some of those great things today already. So you could do things like virtual design and construction. Talk to Sam Revel here. He'll be up here. You could be designing building models and understanding their systems and how they work. You could be doing things in robotics in construction. You could be doing 3D printing in construction. You could be running those machines. You could be designing for those things. You could be thinking about new materials. You could be thinking about material circularity. How do we design buildings to be reused and components to be reused and materials to use less carbon and less energy for sustainability in energy modeling if you wanted to understand how buildings operate. And this is my favorite part, actually. We have iPhones. At Autodesk, we're just like Apple. We have an operating system that runs all of our software and all of our partners' software, and even some of our competitors fit into that as well. Because don't forget, even on my Apple phone, there's a Google Maps and a Waze and Spotify music as well as Apple. So it's a platform that enables like a magical integration like ordering your pizza. That's what Autodesk is like. And so right now, there's about almost 5,000 apps built on our Autodesk platform services. And as these things converge, there are little pieces that are missing still. Remember when I said like my phone used to not dial the phone number to the website? There's lots of those little connections missing. And you can build some of those apps today. And let me show you just a quick 1-minute video how.
Autodesk Forge is becoming Autodesk Platform Services. The same set of APIs and services known today as Forge will still be available as Autodesk Platform Services. Autodesk Platform Services is a set of APIs and web services that you can use to build innovative, cloud-powered applications. APS helps you tap into your design and engineering data, which means you can streamline and innovate how you work. Whether you want to build solutions that automate processes, connect teams and workflows, or visualize your data, Autodesk Platform Services can help you do that and so much more. Today, companies are using APS to build digital twins, visualize and analyze data, render photos to 3D, integrate AR and VR, create product catalogs and configurators, automate design processes, and integrate SaaS products. APS empowers developers and innovators from concept to completion. People across industries in companies of all sizes use Autodesk Platform Services to unlock their data, improve collaboration, and build new services to address today's connected customer. Try APS for free today.
They also do free hackathons that you can do. You can go as a student and do a free hackathon. Who thought when you said you were coming to learn about construction today that I would be convincing you to build your own app? But in order to build an app that's worth a lot of money these days, you first had to know how to use your phone. So you can come and work in the space and see where there are opportunities that you might be able to plug into to understand where some technology doesn't exist. I'm saying that to all of you people out there as well that are doing your booths out there. We need all of these companies. Half the apps that are built are actually by our customers currently on the Autodesk Platform Services. We need more and more and more of those to close the gap. Stuff like GT Stratus, stuff that exists out there today that really works with our products and works with our platform that make these things actually work better. So, and why would you want to do that? Well, I'm just going to tell you, Autodesk actually acquired 59 companies so far and 11 in the last 5 years. I don't know if you see that number up there, but they just bought one of those things for $1 billion. Who wants to make an app today worth $1 billion? I do too, right? You could make the next $1 billion app. I'm telling you, it is completely possible. People made some of these apps in their garages. People got rich on the Apple platform out of their garages. You don't need to have much to build an app these days. There are plenty of people, if you don't know how to build an app, there are plenty of people, if you have the idea, that will help you build the app for you. So don't let that scare you at all. And by the way, if you're looking at construction tech investments, last year, they invested in the world 228 companies worth over $5 billion. So not just us, lots of other people buy lots of little companies for things like $10 million or $2 million or $50 million. If you're not reaching up for the billions yet, lots of things get bought all the time. How many people are excited about that, by the way? Yeah. Anybody? I love that you raise your hand. What's your name? Daniel? Build me something that's worth $1 billion, please. Like, and say, I remember when Amy Marks told me that this could be worth, build something. Learn how to do some of this. By the way, you can do free coding classes online. Free no-code classes online. You can go learn all about this today. That's the beauty of YouTube, right? So what are some key skills that people are looking for tomorrow? Interesting, it doesn't say plumbing on there, right? It doesn't say any of those things. And by the way, we did a big study about this at Autodesk called The Future of Work, actually, years ago. And they said they need people that can think in systems, who have a programming mindset. Even if you just go learn how to code online to understand what the programming mindset is, go take a class. They want active learners, people that just want to learn about anything, even if it's not within their job title. And they want strong STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math backgrounds. Where are my mathletes at? Any mathletes? My daughter's a mathlete. She's in the biomed program at her high school. I'm all for the mathletes. By the way, I always say I don't do math, I do money. I wish I was better at math. And complex problem-solving skills and communication, right? So I would ask, are you ready? Because I had somebody on stage last week who had very gray hair, and he told me, welding's not that cool. And I was like, are you insane? Half of you won't understand this reference. I'm like, have you ever seen Flashdance? But then the younger people was like, I don't know what that movie is. And I said, have you looked on TikTok? Because welding's pretty cool, actually. There are 11.6 billion views about welding on TikTok. Viega, did you guys know that? I'm just saying, did you all guys know that back in the background? By the way, sorry, Victaulic, I actually think you have an amazing product as well without welding. So all my mechanically fastened stuff is fantastic. But plumbing, 6 billion views, all the way down to robotics at 2.2 billion views. Just get on TikTok if you want to know how to do any of these things. I know all my kids here have TikTok. You please follow me. I only have 14,000 followers on TikTok, actually. But you can go and learn online at Industrialized Construction, and Pitt Meadows Plumbing has a TikTok. I just saw it today, so go follow them too. You can take some online courses for free at Autodesk on Industrialized Construction. And this is my last slide, just to show you that it's not just Pitt Meadows, but companies from around the world that are recruiting. I'm going to end with this video from one of our customers at WSP, and it's just about a minute.
I want a smarter future. A future where I get to enjoy nature
the same way previous generations got to.
I want a future where connectivity
and autonomy are about
more than technology.
They're about communities.
And freedom.
Freedom to travel
independently.
A future where buildings are designed
for all of us.
Where hospitals can be built in factories.
And open faster. Where towns are designed to be less lonely.
Places that make me feel proud.
That make me feel I belong.
Where buildings can be unbuilt,
rebuilt and reused.
The decisions we make today become our future. At WSP, there are 55,000 of us changemakers, using our insights to imagine the world and our future as it could be.
Together,
we are planning,
advising,
designing
for a fairer,
smarter future.
We are
Tim,
Nonku,
Han, Teresa,
Naveed.
We are
WSP.
How many of you saw yourself in that video? I saw some pink hair. I'm just letting you know. Anyone see themselves in that video? They're looking for you. We are all looking for you. Reach out to somebody here at Pitt Meadows or any one of these companies today, because they are looking for you and we need you. So please consider us in some of your future plans. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach me anywhere on social media. I don't care who you are, how old you are, what you're doing. Feel free to just write me a note, ask me some questions if you want to meet somebody you see that I'm connected to. And I really appreciate all of your time today. So thank you guys so much.